In this lesson, we're going to discuss the modes of operation for the SpectracyberRPi. We've already seen the first one, the first mode of operation, called the user's mode. In the user's mode, whenever you perform a scan or a scanner, you're going to acquire the data and it'll be placed into a temporary file called temp.csv. If you want to save this file for the future, you need to go ahead and save it by clicking the Save As button here in order to be able to make a copy. You can actually copy that file over here as well using copy file, but you need to at least save it in your own directory for the future, because if you do another scan, that previous file will be overwritten. The temporary file is overwritten every time you perform some kind of a scan. However, there's another mode of operation for doing scientific studies. If you're going to study a particular object, you might want to do it over sessions, several different sessions or several different scans. And this is done by using creating a project, the project mode. In the project mode, over in the Commander, you want to click on File, Project, New, and here it'll pop up the project window, which will allow you to enter a project name. You should keep this a relatively short name, something descriptive that you can identify your project with. The researcher, that's normally your name. And then a working directory. Here, my working directory is, as we've seen before, an external directory underneath the /media location on the Raspberry Pi in a directory called Spectracyber, and that's where all my data from my projects are going to be stored. Now that is the working directory. The project itself, once you do a scan, will create a subdirectory underneath this working directory, which will be given the name of the project. And every time you do a scan, called a session, that data session will be stored underneath that subdirectory, also given the same name with a trailing number, 1, 2, 3, so on. So just keep that in mind, that that's where your data is going to be. To complete filling out this thing, which is optional, you can go ahead and put in a description here. You don't have to if you don't want to. Then down here you can click on you can enter an object name, catalog number, a name, its flux density, its right ascension declination, pick the data type you want to use over here for it, whatever type it is, and when you click the OK button, Spectracyber will then take a look at your current stellar object database, and if it's not in the database, this object will be added into the database for you. On the other hand, if it's already in the database and you want to pick one, which we can do right now, let's just pick the cassette. It'll automatically find it from the database and populate the information for you. So you don't have to do much other than putting in the name of your project and your name perhaps, and any other identifying information you feel like, a description and so on. So when you're done, you click OK, and the project will be created, waiting for you to run your first scan. We're going to go ahead and cancel this since we're not going to perform a scan. So that's basically it. Just keep in mind that the project mode is only going to work when you click the scan button on the Commander. It does not work as a project if you click the scanner. The scanner is separate. It will create a temporary file and you must save it yourself. So that's the only difference between the two, and the fact that, of course, in the scan mode here, you will not see a curve. That data will be acquired for you in the background, and it will be saved and stored for you automatically. This frees you up to go back and perform other functions, do other things, while this is multitasking in the background. So that's basically it. That's the difference between the two modes of operation. I hope this has been helpful.